So, when you look at homeschooling, there are two different ways, or two majorly different ways in which you can homeschool. Uh, One is what is more traditionally, and I'm going to go with the name homeschooling for the way of schooling wherein you're following a curriculum, and the other is called as preschooling. And in a little bit of time, we will see, how this choice impacts yourself, your family, and your child, right? So homeschooling, especially in this session, is going to mean you follow a curriculum, you still use your textbooks, and you are schooling your child at home. You may take up a tutor or something instead of schooling the child at a school or a physical place. Um, for the free schoolers, it is more of they could learn a skill. They could. It's a very child-led learning process. So there is no right or wrong in the learning here. They may follow a textbook. They may not follow a textbook. A 10-year-old could be 8th grade level math, but 2nd grade level English, and that's okay. That is a general idea, like a very basic level idea of if you were homeschooling versus if you were preschooling or unschooling. There are a lot of names that this movement goes by. Yeah. So let us look at preschooling a little bit more, right? So like I said, you can choose to follow parts of a curriculum. You can even choose to follow a full curriculum. However, that choice has to come from the child. And in the middle of the year, if the child says, "Ma, I'm done with this. Pa, I'm done with this. Like, I want to just start learning like sewing or carpentry for the rest of my year," uh, there is of course deliberations around it. It's not like a flippant choice, but you do honor that and you start looking at how can I go that route. So that is somewhat of how unschooling and free schooling sort of unfolds. So this choice is not something that you make just for your child. It is a lifestyle change. You are going to have to look at things differently when you say, I'm not going to follow a curriculum. I am going to let my child figure this out. And there are people that have looked at alternative learning at other times and haven't taken it up. And some people can choose to take this choice wherein, in the middle of a pandemic, like, yeah, I mean, of all the things, I don't want to have the stress of a curriculum. So I'm just going to take that part easy. You could choose that. And, next year, depending on where we are with things, we could take a different choice or, however that goes. But again, I cannot stress this enough. This is a change in mindset. You will, as a parent, we have generally been under the ideology of I teach my child, whereas you would have to step back and observe your child, and you will have to facilitate their learning. So you will have to go in for a changed mindset for this, right? And you, as a parent, you will have to take the effort to unlearn some of the things that you have learned, like, maybe it could be something as simple as handwriting is important, or it could be that math is important, right? So there would be a huge unlearning effort and all that. So there's going to be a transition period. Like all of a sudden, a child who was told morning 8 to 8:30 is going to be English, 8:30 to 9:30 is going to be math, and all of a sudden you ask the child, hey, what would you like to do today? There may be a lot of, well, I'm going to watch TV, right? So there will be this adjustment period where the child tries to understand, what does this freedom mean to me? And should you choose to unschool for just 1 year, then there is going to be transition period two ways: transitioning into it and transitioning out of it, right? And in the middle, like, you may be thinking, next year I'm going to go back to putting my child back in the school, but you may also face some resistance towards that. So if that happens, then what? That is another question that you would have to think about. The core of this overall, though, is that you are taking complete responsibility to create and deliver your child's education for the period that you choose to unschool. Now, the child is still going to be in the driver's seat. However, if they need a mentor, if they need guidance, you are the first in line, right? You may connect them to another person, you likely will. However, you are taking the responsibility of trying to find those connections, especially depending on the age of the child and how long you have been doing this. And one thing that I do want to mention is a lot of vocal homeschoolers that you find in India are unschoolers, right? So if you choose to follow some of these influencers, you get inspired by their journey, great. But also understand that that journey is different from one of following a curriculum, right? And you would have to sort of like get some clarity in your head um, before you could sort of like go down this route, right? So some of the potential resources that you could look at for this, you have a lot of social groups where you can, get some inputs, both online and offline. They tend to be social unschoolers because they're constantly sharing notes. They're trying to figure this out together, what worked, what didn't work. So they do tend to rely on each other's support. Again, there are exceptions. There's absolutely no one way to unschool or free school, but typically you would see that they try to form their own social groups to sort of pitch in for gaps, especially. You can also use like podcasts, videos, there are influencers, there are blogs, there are Facebook groups, there are Facebook pages where they share these activities, so on and so forth, right? Next, when you look at the other option, which is homeschooling, wherein you are going to be following a curriculum, which means that you probably need a timetable, right? And as I said, there aren't as many vocal practitioners of this in India. Again, I'm not saying that there aren't. All that I'm saying is you may have to look harder to find people who teach from home, a typically developing child who are doing their complete curriculum online, right? It is likely that your transition back to school might be easier because there's a smaller adjustment in terms of lifestyle. Like the child's not going to their school, but they're still doing very similar subjects. They are still, keeping up, whatever that means, with their peers. And, you don't have to, you would still, like we will talk about it a little bit later, there still has to be a change in our mindset for working with all this online. And it's a smaller delta. You can think of this as a safer and sort of like a hybrid option at this time between like sending the child to a school and unschooling. You could choose to keep the child at home, wherein their physical safety at this time is a little more under your view, because before COVID it didn't have to be all online, which is something this has sort of like brought in the additional complexity. You can have a school to anchor the learning experience. Again, the school, when I say school here, it may not be like your typical school, the schools that we are used to at this point. Let's think about it as an educational institute to which you can use as an anchor. You can go back when you're in doubt. You can, share your this work for me. Hey, I'm so excited about it. I figured this out. I'm going to share it with people so they can also benefit from it, right? Or you can, many of the boards, their curriculum, their educational goals, if you will call it, it is available online. And you could look at it, you could buy the same textbooks, and you could sort of, do that on your own.